JL Wrangler has been around for 7 years now, and there's been some really special versions, but Dad, is this the coolest of them all?
Well, we're gonna find that out when we review the new Willys 41.
That's right, so this is a very cool retro-inspired version of the JL Wrangler. This harkens back to when Jeep first launched the Willys MB, even before Jeep, all the way back in 1941. And there's a bunch of styling and even some mechanical changes that separate the 41 from a standard Jeep Wrangler. So Dad, let's start with the color and some of the graphics. What do you think?
You know what I want to know? Will it make it up the wall?
Well, in today's video, we're not only going to walk around this Jeep, we're going to get it off-road and put it through some of its paces to see if it's not just an appearance package, but if it actually brings the heat. But we'll start with the appearance bits because that is some of the big changes for the 41. So we have a body-colored grille here with these little black inserts, which look pretty cool. And then the hood decal is this massive black sheet with 41 here carved in. Very cool.
You know, I gotta say, this has to be one of my favorite Wranglers that they've done. I especially love those wheels, Tommy.
The wheels are really cool. Now this is, once again, something a little funky because I do believe that that right there is an aluminum wheel, but it's been designed to look like an old Steely. So you have kind of that purposeful look of the Steely, but the lightness of an aluminum wheel. I will say though, this would probably make people laugh like 30, 40 years ago when everyone was, you know, getting rid of Steely and putting alloys on. And now we're going the other way. We're getting rid of fancy wheels and putting faux Steelies on.
Now I did notice something, Tommy, and that is this right there. So this to me suggests that this is the 4xe.
It sure is, and you can only get the 41 edition on the 4xe. So you can see it here on the hood, Willys /4xe with, of course, the American flag. And this is one of the misses, I think, Dad, is I'd love to be able to get this 41 package across the board on the Pentastar V6, on the 2-liter turbo, and not just limit it to the 4xe.
The other thing that makes it so cool, of course, is that top, Tommy.
It is, yeah. So there's a bunch of different top configurations. This is by far the best looking. You've got that kind of tactical tan across the top there. Full soft top. You can also get it with the hard top and the one-touch power top. We have the vintage font here underneath the Jeep emblem in that kind of Wrangler look. And then if we make our way to the back here, once again, get a better look at that font. And then, check this out, you have the 4xe logos back here in black. Now we should talk about, Dad, what this 41 is based on, because is it a Sport? Is it a Rubicon? What is it?
It's not a Rubicon, I know that, because it doesn't have a front locker.
It doesn't have a front locker.
It doesn't have a despicable sway bar.
It doesn't have that, you're right about that. It's rear locker only. So this is essentially based on a Willys version of the Jeep, which makes sense because it's a Willys 41. But on the inside, they've done a bunch of stuff as well.
Well, let's go on the inside and check it out, because the inside is also cool. Now, Tommy, Jeep lent us this Jeep to review here at the Easter Jeep Safari. So this is a Jeep that Jeep spec, and I gotta say, this is almost a perfect spec, dude.
It is so cool, and I'm gonna tell you the price, but at the end of this video.
Oh, you're gonna keep waiting, huh?
I am, because that really is the big problem with this Willys 41 4xe Special Edition. But this interior.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So this is a heritage tan. So it's a cloth seat, no leather in this vehicle, and then we also have a cloth insert up here on the dash with the tan stitching. We also have kind of that lighter color stitching here across the leather wrapped steering wheel. And then if I start it up, first of all, look at the 41 there on the shifter. This is pretty cool. Can you take the camera?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not sure if other Wranglers have this. If you look here on the speedometer, the fonting is a little different. So right now it says 0, but when you speed up, it's kind of got that military fonting, which is neat. Now this vehicle is fairly well equipped. It's got heated seats, it's got heated steering wheel, dual zone automatic climate control. It still has manual seats, and it doesn't have a 360 camera, which is pretty shocking when you consider the price.
Well, so I'm gonna give them a little bit of a teaser, Tommy. I'm gonna say that the 41 package costs just under $10,000. So that'll give you a hint as to how much the total MSRP is.
That's right. Well, enough yapping. Let's go hit the trail.
Hell yeah. All right, Tommy, we've reached our first obstacle, which is the frame bender. And this is always a test of breakover. And not a good obstacle for long wheelbase vehicles like trucks. But for Jeeps, even the 4 doors, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, so you stay a little bit to the driver's side here.
Okay.
It looks like I've got the drone here doing some drone spotting. You got like 2.5 feet.
Okay, straight?
Yep, just go straight. Yep.
All right, this is
You
always
got
a little butt clenchy when you're about to go over it.
And you're about to drop. And
oh yeah. Let's see if we hit.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah, we shouldn't hit. How about the rear now?
And oh yes,
we hit hard.
Good hit there.
We hit hard. Sorry, Jeep.
So here's the thing. This Willys 41 Special Edition has the 33-inch toe tires.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the 35s.
Ah.
So certainly that's going to impact some of your clearance, especially over that little obstacle there.
Impact's the right word, huh?
Yeah, impact is the right word. Good dad pun right there, Dad.
Now we're here at Easter Jeep Safari, and we happen to get a little slot in between massive groups of vehicles. So we're trying to film this in between these giant convoys of Jeeps, and I think we're managing it so far. All right, so the other thing, you know, Tommy, a lot of people don't like the 4xe because they have had some reliability issues, but to me, at least off-road, it's all about torque. And this electric motor is so torquey that basically all I have to do is modulate the brake. I don't even have to hit the gas, and the Jeep does it all for me in 4 low. So I do love the 4xe for that reason. I also love it because it's quiet. I mean, you know, open the window here. How nice is that, huh?
Well, the thing is, you get about 20-25 miles of all electric range, and then there's a gasoline 2-liter that kicks in. And when you've got the gas and electric powertrains going at the same time, this is actually a very quick Jeep. It's got 370 horsepower, if I remember correctly, which is a lot in a Wrangler, an open top, you know, 4-wheel drive Wrangler. And it really boogies, especially the combo with the turbocharging and the EV. The problem is, though, that gasoline engine sounds like a Briggs & Stratton.
Yes, it does not sound good. And, you know, having your Jeep sound like a lawnmower.
Not an attractive look.
Yeah, it's not a good look at the Easter Jeep Safari when you've got guys with
heavy slots, yeah.
Exactly.
Or 392s.
Yeah.
So what we like to do is make sure that battery's charged, and then forget the Briggs & Stratton thing and just run it on electricity.
All right, so this is One Tree Hill, and this is going to get a little tricky because there's that hole right there that your right front wheel falls into your passenger, and if you don't have a locker, you're going to send a lot of the power to the rear, and then if you don't have enough grip, they're going to spin, and then you're going to get yourself slowly being pushed into the tree.
Let's see what happens.
You want to lock it up?
No, let's try it unlocked first. We're in 4 low.
All right.
Here, we'll go off-road plus.
All right.
And then stick that front wheel in that hole, and let's see if we can get out without a locker. Now, we do have, of course, solid axles, which is going to greatly assist with articulation. We may not even need that locker, but we don't have the sway bar disconnect. Okay, so you're in the hole.
I'm being pushed toward the tree, and it just went right through.
So we could feel those brakes engage, grab the traction control, and then distribute torque where it needed to go. And that ended up being really, really easy. So that was excellent.
I mean, we've taken a lot of vehicles up One Tree Hill, and especially with no front locker, usually there's a lot of tire spin. That was just cake, dude, cake.
Well, you at least need a rear locker. It's not extreme enough to really need a front, but even with open diffs and then the traction programming, we made it up there, no problems whatsoever.
You know what else is cool about this top? Of course, this comes off, and so you can go completely topless if you wanted to. And
sure.
And today it's actually not that sunny, so usually in Moab it gets very warm very quickly, but right now it's really nice.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this Jeep, even though it's not a Rubicon, this Jeep is going to do 99.999% of anything you'd ever want it to do. It's almost impossible to overemphasize how capable a base Wrangler is, let alone one with a locker.
Well, we try to prove that with our Jeep, right?
Yeah, and that thing goes everywhere. Even our base model Sport for, what was it, $32,000 or something, just goes anywhere you point it, which is super rad.
Hey, why don't you show them on the drone all the people that are behind us?
Holy moly.
Yeah, look at that.
That is a lot of people.
Hey, I like kudos to the Subaru guys who brought their it looks like Outbacks.
Yeah, it's cool.
And Crosstrek to the Easter Jeep Safari. So
it's always cool.
That's pretty cool. All right, we got a very steep descent here. This is always scarier than it looks because we're at like, 35 degrees straight down, but with good tires. Well, these are KO2s. That's odd too, isn't it?
Yeah, KO3 came out last year.
Yeah, and like our Ranger Raptor has KO3s for $57, and there's another hint. This costs more than our Ranger Raptor.
Yeah, and not just like a little more, a shockingly amount more. So we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah, that's the part that we're having some issues with. We keep scratching our head about that, but let's keep talking about the Jeep. You're absolutely right, Tommy. A Jeep will do 99% of what I can do without, doing a lot of butt clenching, without all the off-road gear. But for this price, and we'll tell you in a second, it is nice to have it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's stuff like the sway bar disconnect that Rubicons have that, yeah, they make it more capable. But if you're old and crotchety like I am, it also makes it a lot more comfortable. So that would be a really nice thing if this Jeep had that feature.
Tommy, that was nice for you to kind of,
I'm the guy that's always complaining about ride quality.
Shelter your old man who's got a bad back and who hates crazy head bob.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I'm also very vain, Tommy. Not only old and crotchety, but I'm vain. And my vanity loves the look of this thing. I mean, I gotta say, we've got the coolest looking Jeep, and a couple of the Easter Jeepers have come by and they've actually complimented the wheels on this.
Yeah, the wheels seem to be the thing that gets the most comments. So over all of it, the color and the graphics and whatever, it's the wheels that get people excited, which makes perfect sense because the wheels are awesome. The tires, I think it would be awesome, especially at this price point, which we keep talking about. It would be awesome if they had 35s. I think that would be something that would really enhance the look of this Jeep. It looks pretty good as it is, but with 35s, it would really look a lot better.
You think it's because with this being the plug-in hybrid, you're trying to get as much, all electric range as possible, and the bigger the wheel and tire combo you're rolling, the more electricity you're using?
I'm sure that's some of it,
yeah.
But it's been proven that 35s work fine on the 4xEs, that you just lose some of the range. And 35s are kind of like the new 33s anyways, and 37s are kind of like the new 35s, and 40s are like the new 37s.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. All good when you're out here, not so good when you're back on the highway heading home.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I mean, you put 40s on something, you're going to be towing it. Unless you want to, have seriously bad highway manners in your Jeep. All right, Tommy, this is the ass scratcher and test departure angle. So the question is, how much will I scratch my ass?
Yeah, and it's also a good test of approach to see if we end up burying that nose into the sand. So here he comes down the hill.
I'm taking the hardest possible angle.
Those KO2s aired down are looking good. They're gripping okay. Woo!
They stopped gripping there for a second, Tommy.
How about the nose? Oh, we cleared the nose. That was good. And the back. Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
Wow.
So you can see here on the rock how many hundreds of people have dug their bumpers and hitches in. But the clearance on the back, this does have the steel bumpers front and rear. That was enough to keep you off the rock.
But now it's time for
the wall.
The wall. Let's go do it. So Tommy, the wall separates the Jeeps from the Subarus. Yes, I went there.
You say that, but I just saw a Subaru doing their wall on Instagram the other day.
Get out.
Yeah.
Was it lifted?
I think it was that guy behind us, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very, very customized Subaru.
Well, I apologize to all you Subaru fans.
I'll put it to you this way, it wasn't happy doing the wall, so we'll see if the Jeep can do the wall with any more ease.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried various vehicles up the wall, and some have had no issues, and some have had a lot of issues.
That's exactly right.
Remember the last vehicle we tried where you kept trying and trying and trying and trying? What was that?
It was...
I've already forgotten. The 4Runner.
That's right, it was a 4Runner. We got it up the wall.
We got up the wall, but it took like 5 tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new 4Runner, it did it, but once again, wasn't happy doing it. Because there, the problem is, it's a test of breakover as well, so when you get to the top, you really need the front locker to pull yourself over the top, and the 4Runner doesn't have the front locker. Neither does this.
Here we are at the wall. I've gone ahead and locked up the rear locker. Locks instantly. That's good to see. I'm going to try the select speed here, which is like off-road cruise control, to see if that will pull us up the wall or if I need to use my foot. So this is all the car doing its thing here. There we go. I'm going to select 2 miles an hour. Really riveting TV so far, but let's see if it will crawl up by itself or if I have to put my foot on the accelerator. This is all the Jeep. Okay, a little quicker. 1.2 miles an hour. There we go. This is once again all the Jeep doing it all by itself. Okay, it's a little stuck. Come on, Jeep, figure it out. This is still the Jeep doing it all on its lonesome. And then it launches me at the top of the wall. That's the problem with some of these automatic off-road cruise control setups, is they're a little lurchy. But I'm impressed there that we didn't scrape at all. I still think that the number one best off-road cruise setup is Toyota's crawl control. It's just the best. See, like right now we're stopped, and then the Jeep it's just a little clunky. Now it's adding more accelerator, and then it launches me forward. So it's a little hit and miss, but you know, it did work. It did do what it needed to do. Wow, this thing is a beast off-road. You just saw how it walked up everything we put it up against, Dad.
Yeah, you made it look easy, Tommy. It's a Jeep thing. It's
a Jeep thing, but it's also an expensive thing because the total sticker price on this Wrangler, $68,900.
That is a lot of money for a non-Rubicon.
Yeah, now it does have the trailer tow package. It does have the convenience group, so it's got heated front seats and steering wheel and that kind of thing. It has a tech group and active safety group, but still nearly $70,000 and no front locker or sway bar disconnect is big money.
How much is destination?
Destination is $2,000.
Oh, that's the amount of money that you pay having it shipped to your dealer, even if you live in Ohio where these are built.
So I like this thing a lot. I think it's really cool. It does a lot of stuff really well. However, I just think it's a little bit too expensive for that package. If this came on the base model V6 two-door, this would be my jam if it was $4,000 or $5,000 extra. But for 10 grand on top of a 4xe, it's just big money.
I have to disagree, Tommy. The Jeep has entrenched me.
Oh no. Oh geez.
I'm sorry. The Jeep has enchanted me. Here, take the camera so I'm in the sun. The Jeep has enchanted me with its good looks, because let's face it, 95% of the time if you're TFL, you're not going to be off-roading this thing. You're going to be driving it around town, and just look how handsome that Jeep is. Oh my gosh, I am in love. So I say, if you're going to be doing some serious off-roading, get the Ruby, but for most of the things that I would do, this is my jam. Well, as always, this is Roman.
And Tommy. Head over to alltfl.com. We got more videos for you coming soon.
Ciao.